All right, welcome back for lesson 5. No bad parts. So this is called No Bad Parts, You Just Are. Now, I got this lesson, I guess I pulled this lesson from partially it's part, metaphysical, it's part insight therapy, and I kind of put it together to get you to understand, the spirituality of it, and then the layman's term, or I should say the this time space reality therapy side of it, so that we can put it together into actionable steps that work in real life, right? So let's just talk about the background of this. So the spiritual text, Course in Miracles, presents a non-dualistic worldview and emphasizes the importance of forgiveness, love, and the recognition of the interconnectedness of all beings. While there is no direct mention of the IFS therapy, there are some similarities between the two. So both IFS therapy and the course emphasizes the importance of recognizing and working with different aspects of the self. In the course, these aspects may be referred to as the ego and the Holy Spirit, while in IFS, they are seen as parts. Both approaches suggest that these different aspects can be brought into greater alignment through a process of self awareness and self acceptance. Additionally, both IFS and the course promotes the idea that there are no bad parts or aspects of the self. The ego is seen as a mistaken identity that can be transcended through the recognition of one's true nature as a spiritual being. Similarly, in IFS therapy, problematic parts are seen as having taken on extreme roles to protect the individual from emotional pain rather than being inherently bad. Overall, while IFS therapy and the course have different approaches and emphasis, there are underlying similarities in their understanding of the self and the importance of self awareness and acceptance. So let's talk further about exactly what IFS is. And the goal of this lesson is to understand IFS therapy and how to use it for rapid healing. This one is so near and dear to me because I actually use something called personas when I used to help my clients to overcome things that they didn't feel like they were capable of doing. And I would help them create these personas or these roles that they would assume, and it's like you were executing a task in the role of that person that you made up versus having to do it yourself. And so this is a similar situation where we kind of do this unconsciously. And so when I discovered this doing some research, when I was actually doing the research for this course, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I cannot wait to break this down in such a way, because the rapid understanding and healing that you get from this exercise is insane. So just bear with me. So, the IFS therapy is a type of psychotherapy that helps individuals understand and work with their inner parts or subpersonalities. In IFS, a person's psyche is seen as a collection of different parts, each with its own feelings, beliefs, and behaviors. These parts can be categorized as managers, firefighters, and exiles. Now, IFS therapy emphasizes that all parts of a person's psyche are valuable and that there are no bad parts. Rather, problematic behaviors or emotions are seen as the result of parts having taken on extreme roles to protect the individual from emotional pain. The goal of IFS therapy is to help individuals access their core or self, which can then provide a compassionate and accepting perspective towards all your parts. The no bad parts principle in IFS therapy promotes self compassion and self acceptance, allowing individuals to explore and integrate all aspects of themselves. Through this process, you can develop greater self awareness and a more holistic understanding of yourself, leading to improved emotional regulation and well being. So let me just give you a quick example of how I use this. So one of my things growing up was that I felt unseen. I felt invisible as the independent child, the overachiever. And so I didn't realize that I had created all of these personas subconsciously that protected me from feeling invisible or rejected or disappointed when I felt like I should have been recognized. But what happens is, without acknowledging these personas that come to take up for us, right? Our subconscious that comes to take up for us, they can get out of control and they can get extreme, and they turn into more toxic behaviors, which could be overeating, indulging in abusive substances, perfectionism, and procrastination, all kinds of other things, right? So when you can identify this, it allows you to have that insight to let them know that you don't need them anymore, and you can release them and start to allow the all parts of yourself to surface. You don't have to feel shameful or guilty about any particular parts of yourself, rather that was the toxic behavior or not. So when we talk about the IFS therapy, what it is that, for every yin there is a yang, right? For every they say for every good there is evil, right? And your souls tend to die with shame. If you feel shameful about yourself or about a particular part of yourself, you tend to hide that part and you tend to suppress it, and you overcompensate by creating some other personality of yourself, right? It's kind of like code switching, right? Where you're at work versus when you're at home, or where you're with your homegirls, right? Totally different personalities. And so the guilt will leave you in the past, but the fear will have you frozen in place, right? So what we want to do is make friends with those personas that did their best to protect you. So when we believe that certain parts of ourselves are bad, it can lead to feelings of shame, guilt, and fear. For example, if someone's experiences anger or jealousy and believes that those emotions are inherently negative or unacceptable, they may feel ashamed or guilty for experiencing them. This can lead to a cycle of negative self-talk and self-judgment, further reinforcing the belief that these parts of themselves are bad. Similarly, when we judge certain parts of ourselves as bad, we may become afraid of them or try to suppress them. This can lead to feelings of internal conflict, as these parts continue to exist within us and may surface in unexpected ways. We may also become disconnected from our authentic selves because we try to present a certain image to the world and hide the parts of ourselves that we perceive as negative. In contrast, the no bad parts principle in IFS therapy encourages individuals to approach all aspects of themselves with curiosity and compassion rather than judgment. By acknowledging that all parts are valuable and have a purpose, individuals like you and me can begin to release feelings of shame and guilt and fear. This can lead to greater self awareness, self acceptance, and emotional regulation as individuals learn to integrate all aspects of themselves into a cohesive whole. When hiding ourselves, we create inner conflict and blockages that can interfere with our ability to manifest a life that we desire. When we judge or suppress parts of ourselves, we're essentially rejecting aspects of who we are in our authentic selves, which can create a sense of inner division or fragmentation. Now, this can make it difficult to manifest from a place of wholeness and alignment. But by releasing the feelings of shame, guilt, and fear associated with certain parts of ourselves, we can experience greater emotional freedom and resilience. And this can help us move beyond limiting beliefs and patterns that have been holding us back from manifesting the life that we desire. Now, how do we actually accept all the parts? Now, I have included a workbook that's going to take you a little bit of time, so you're going to have to actually set aside the time to do this. But I do have examples, the templates filled in with examples. But what I want you to do is go through this IFS workbook, and what it will do is help you identify your protectors. Like you have I personally, I'm going to speak for myself. I have a personal, a judgment protector, one that feels like they're better than other people for a specific, like at least I. Have you ever said that, then you have one too. At least I do this. At least I've done that kind of thing, right? And then you have these others, like the firefighter, the one who wants to put out all of the bad. And you have the manager. That's the one that manages what you call your bad parts. And so you'll learn about these different things going through this workbook, but do put aside time for it. And I hope that it helps you the way that it helped me. It's so funny that I found out that I've been doing this subconsciously for years and years and years and years. And I've even created them on purpose, but for other reasons. So I can't wait for you to do this because it really does allow you to accept yourself. You may have a protector that turned extreme behavior, but it was really just to protect a person who was rejected or disappointed or heartbroken at a time. And it was protecting you from continuing to feel those feelings. If someone made you feel ashamed for voicing your opinion, you may have become a people pleaser or been quiet. And that people pleaser can become toxic if it's not looking out for your best interest first. But essentially, it was protecting you from being told to be quiet. So I'm so excited for you to do this exercise. If you need help with clarity with this, please use the hashtag no bad parts in the group, and I will be glad to help you work through it and to clarify. And this is one that I really love to talk about on the coaching call. So with all that said, I can't wait to see you in the next lesson where we talk about self-mastery. And until then, I wish you all the love and light.